We'll call this meeting of the Silver City Town Council to order. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on the agenda with action is public input, and I remind you have 5 minutes to speak, and if you're looking at me, I'll give you a 1-minute warning, if I can find my clock on this thing. And the first up is Robert Bassett, reference student youth volunteerism in Silver City, Grant County.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's a real treat to be here tonight. My name is Bo Bassett, Robert C. Bo Bassett. I live in Anchorage, Alaska. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful 3 or 4 days here in Silver City. And I would like to frame my comments within the next few minutes around several things. First off, I started a 1,100-mile bike ride in Santa Cruz, California on September 11th, 2013 on 9/11 National Day of Service. And I started riding my bike in support of student and youth volunteerism in the United States. This was the second ride that I've taken. A year ago, I rode from Mount Vernon, Washington, above Seattle, to Santa Cruz. I'm a semi-retired teacher from Anchorage, taught high school social studies. I am a very active community member, and I instruct and teach young people, middle and high school students in leadership to serve the community. I got involved in this endeavor in 1995 when Prudential Insurance launched a national initiative, and that's really why I'm here tonight and why I've been doing this particular bike ride. Prudential, as you know, is an international corporation located in Newark, New Jersey. And in 1995, they were approached about the possibility of how would you like to encourage young Americans to get involved in their communities. And at that time, the CEO, Art Ryan, said, yes, we will do that. And they created a national program that involves recognition, training, and inspiration for young people. When that initiative got launched, I decided I wanted to be fully in support of that, and consequently, for the last 18 years, I've been primarily as a volunteer training young people in leadership in Alaska and promoting the Prudential Spirit of Community Award. So Prudential launched this initiative on their own, and they created a partnership. This is the tremendous sort of logo emblem they created. They partnered with the National Secondary School Principals Association, which means this initiative is partnered with every middle school and high school in the United States, public and private. Wonderful idea. They also partnered with the Red Cross. They partnered with the 4-H. They partnered with the Girl Scouts. They partnered with the YMCA. And they partnered with all volunteer centers that are connected to the National Volunteer Center Network. What I loved about the strategy is that through partnership you can reach more young people, and you also communicate to young people that it is through partnership, working together, cross-section of organizations, that communities are built and that community spirit is built. So if we can assume that a rising tide lifts all boats, whether you agree with that or not, maybe we could also assume that a rising spirit lifts all people. So when Prudential focused on young people grades 5 to 12, they said that we're going to encourage their spirit to help the community through service, and we're going to honor them with an award. So this is the 19th year of the Prudential Spirit of Community Award. On my ride from Santa Cruz, I started at the Volunteer Center in Santa Cruz, and I visited the schools in Santa Cruz, and then I biked out. I won't get into too many details, but I camped out most of the nights of my trip. I think I was only not camping 2 or 3 nights. And I would bike the communities, small and large, and go to the visitor center, the Chamber of Commerce, and find out where the schools were, and then bike right to the schools, middle school and high school, and talk to principals, counselors, some cases parents, some cases students. And all told, I probably face-to-face met with 20 principals, 20 counselors. I would catch parents who were interested in their own children volunteering and wanting to know about the award. And what I found was that there was if not a thirst, a desire by young people, all ages, by parents, by school officials, in the Prudential Initiative. So I've been very pleased to have reached 65 schools. I came into Silver City on Friday. I was able to get to the middle school, the high school, the Opportunity High School, Aldo Leopold School. I was able to host and be part of a press conference this afternoon at the Volunteer Center. I was able to learn about the Bike Works program, the Youth Volunteer Corps you have here, the 4-H. So you've got a lot of great things here, and I would encourage you to help promote the awareness of the Prudential Award. I would encourage you to be role models for service. I would encourage you to consider supporting 9/11 as a National Day of Service. I will leave with you the proclamation that the mayor of Santa Cruz created, and a card that she wrote for the mayor and the council members. And I'd like to give you that now. The mayor would be kind enough to read that message from Hillary Bryant, who's the mayor of Santa Cruz.
Is there any other action from the council that I waive the rules and let Mr. Bassett speak? We're over the time.
No, there's no objection.
We did have some conversations in the previous months via email, and we chose to go this manner, and it's just going too long, but I think it's very valuable. Did you want me to do this now?
Please.
Dear Mayor and Silver City Council, greetings from the city of Santa Cruz. If you are reading this note, it meant our friend Bo and his bike arrived safely in your town. Hope his ride was a great success, and if you are ever visiting the city of Santa Cruz, please stop by my office. Thank you for your service to your community. With my warmest regards, Hillary Bryant, Mayor.
And just reading it for the mayor, I have a gift from Alaska, which is somewhat comparable to what the mayor of Santa Cruz, I'd like you to open that. Here's a few handouts that I gave to the school. I don't know what's your favorite, but it's a good one. Those are Alaska wild red currant jelly. Alaska has world-class berries up there, so that's the real deal. That was carried all the way from Santa Cruz, and not broken, I might add. So, I don't know if you'll...
Vehicle with it.
Okay, in conclusion, you've been very kind to give me a couple extra minutes. I would very much like to get a picture, and I have something for each of the council members, because I know they're a little jealous of, I wanted to tell you that when things got tough on the bike ride, I had a number of flat tires, and, I got tired. I'm an old person, and, I bought some Hall's cough drops. And I was so surprised that with Hall's cough drops, they're wrapped in a little inspirational piece of paper. So here's some of the inspiration. Dust off and get up. You've survived tougher. Keep your chin up. Don't try harder, do harder. So I have a a cough drop, an emergency cough drop for each of you. For when the political climate, you know, when things are really getting tough.
I ride a motorcycle.
You what?
I ride a motorcycle.
I'm shocked. He's really worked. When things get tough, you know, you don't have to talk. Okay. So, thank you for the extra time. Do what you can. I will be back. This is the threat for the third Spirit of Community Ride on September 11th, 2014, where I will start the ride in Silver City, and I'll be riding to South Bend, Indiana. And I hope to connect and help support the Volunteer Center and the Bike Works program, and unless I'm not allowed in the town again, which could very likely be. So if I could get a picture of folks, and I'll have, by the way, I've got my New Mexico passport and my flag. I don't know how you folks have passports. You're not going to fall asleep. No. Yeah, this is good. How's this?
After women, never see them.
I got Photoshop. Wait till you see what I did. Who said local government couldn't be fun? 1, 2, 3. Thank you for your indulgence. Yeah. Beth, you got a great community here. Keep her going.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye. Bye, thanks a lot. Yeah, bye-bye. Thanks a lot.
See you next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, open it.
Next up is William Joseph on the Neighborhood Network.
Hello, thanks for having me here. About a month ago, I spoke here on some issues, and one was ways that maybe we could empower neighborhoods against certain activities within our larger community. And I also presented a complaint about a wild Mustang, loud mufflers, and all of that. And since then, the police have apprehended that person, so we're all thankful for that. Very thankful for that, actually. But there's more of it out there, and I know the police know that as well. And it's a never-ending process. But anyway, some of us got together within the neighborhood and created are wanting to create a neighborhood network, which you have a copy of. And there's other kinds of things like neighborhood watches around, but this is more of an expansive version of that. And you could read all of that. I only got 5 minutes. But one of them is the last sentence in the first paragraph that I want to highlight. We also want to develop a collective creativity, a web of active individuals that supports the mission statement of the town of Silver City, which says to protect a high quality of life, which is what we want to do. We really want to work with the council. We want to work with the police officers. Everybody's overworked, but there's still a sense of belligerence out there, and I do have to say that belligerence seems for some reason to be going up. If you talk to other people, there was a guy here last meeting that spoke to that issue of person riding Bullard, with loud noises and whatnot. And and some of us talk that seems to be the case. I don't know if the police see that or not, but we're concerned about all of that. It seems that belligerence has gone up. I don't know if it's the number of offenses have or not, but that's the part that really bothers us. And we want to act positively with that. So anyway, this neighborhood network's to address those things, to come to the city council, to have direct contact with the police department, to not just to complain, but to constantly and be persistent to present the issues at hand that affect us negatively in this community, so we can, again, protect that high quality of life that we all want here. So this is a kind of a rough draft that's leading towards being so, and I'd ask I'm from District 3, but the neighborhood network surely will cross those lines, that I'm presented as input. The email address is on the bottom there. If the council, police want to email that address with your input on this, positive or negative, corrections, whatnot, please do. You know, we really want to work with this council, we want to work with the police officers to just upgrade whatever we can do and empower the neighborhoods. That's what, I spoke to last time, and that's what we really want to do, is not just complain, but empower us so we can stop things, actually help the police department to address the activities. I mean, I know they're stretched thin as it is, and move towards that end. So that's the purpose of this. I ask you to help us with that. Again, I'm asking for empowering the neighborhoods to address the issues at hand in this, that's written in here. So that's what we're here to do. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, William. Next on the agenda is council comments. Councilor Bedison, would you like to start?
No comments, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Cook.
No comments, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Wright.
No comment.
Thank you, Councilor Moronis.
No comment, Mr. Mayor.
Wow. I'm not going to run a good thing. Are there any changes to the agenda? The agenda is approved. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes of the regular meeting of the Silver City Town Council, October 12, 2013.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilor.
Move to approve the regular minutes of the Town of Silver City, the Town Council of Silver City, October 12, 2013.
Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Is there any discussion? There's a motion and a second, no discussion, to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Silver City Town Council of October 12, 2013. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is under reports, and the first report is Silver City Arts and Cultural District and Tourism Quarterly Report by George Julian Dwarin, Director. You have the floor, sir. She doesn't look anything like you.
No. But I just wanted to start with a little bit of results information. This was the headline on October 18th, Tourism Economy Hurt by Shutdown. And I'm actually really glad to let you know that that was not at the Visitor Center. We did not have a drop-off in visitation per se. This was up at the Cliff Dwellings. They were closed, and of course, prior to that, there was the natural disaster of the floods, and that also was reducing visitation up there. But what we do when we do have a situation like that, we, of course, are there to greet people 7 days a week. We encourage them to go to the museums, to visit downtown, to go to the murals, to still drive the Trail of the Mountain Spirit Scenic Byway. And what's great is folks are coming back in, they're very happy, and they said, well, we'll come back and see the Cliff Dwellings another time. So it really hasn't hurt us, and wanted to clear that up. Also to let you know that I will be back at a future meeting with more detailed information and that infamous PowerPoint presentation. But this evening, what I wanted to do was just let you know that we are staying very consistent, a little bit ahead of previous years. October, we are actually up a few people from last year, so that's good news. We're right around 1,100 people today as of the 1st of October. Mailings, since July, we've sent out 2,070 visitor guides. The Silver City Museum is, for the last 3 months, the first quarter of the year, is up 17% in visitation. The WNMU Museum is up over 200 people. And we have been going out, of course, the toughest part of our job is volunteers, so we've been going out and giving presentations. I spoke with the Newcomers Club last week. We've spoken to Kiwanis. We're going to be talking to the retirees and the widows. And also our board members have been coming and working 1 or 2 shifts. So once again, just encourage the public to come down, collaborate with us, share your community with others, and help us to continue to do the great job that we're doing. And I also just want to say that it's really great to work with Arts and Culture. George is doing a great job, and that we're feeling there's a very consistent message out there, and we feel that that's one of the reasons why we're starting to get more folks in. So I'll talk with you later unless you have any questions.
I'll just tell you right now, you're going to get an email probably tomorrow.
Okay?
You will get it, George will get it, Scott will get it from the chamber back there, and I'm going to invite all of you, including the other MRAC and Main Street, and to sit down, and I'm offering to facilitate ensuring that we actually have a good greased system working together and coordinating, collaborating.
Great.
And I would very much appreciate the attendance and cooperation, and we got a lot of effort out there, and we need to make sure that we're working with and for each other.
We met for coffee once or twice, but then our lives got busy, but I look forward to that, and I'm sure all the other organizations do as well. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. George?
Mayor, councilors, town clerk, chief, fellow citizens, thank you very much for allowing me to present tonight. And I want to first start with a couple of acknowledgments, particularly Green Chamber, partnership with Green Chamber. As you know, we work closely with them in running the in running the visitor center, and that they are the fulfillment arm for Grant County and for Silver City Arts and Cultural District Tourism. And they do a really fine job of it, and I appreciate Sissy in particular. We've been doing a lot of joint presentations, and it's a wonderful collaboration. The other person I want to acknowledge, I couldn't do my job without Michelle, who really makes it all happen down there in many, many ways, and allows me to do what I do. What I presented you with here is the report card that I promised I would do on a regular basis. It gives you, I'll run through this very quickly because I have a lot of other things I'd like to share with you. But basically, I will give you the same outline so that it has a familiarity. We're looking to expand this as a report card of tourism. I have been looking at where and how we might look and compare ourselves to other communities throughout New Mexico, so that we have some other metrics to go by as well. But as you can see here, we've been placing very heavily in this first quarter in Sunset Magazine, New Mexico Magazine, Peaks and Plains, the onboard airline magazine for our local airline, El Paso Scene, Desert Leaf in Tucson, Zocalo, and the Picamania program. I want to pass these around. This is a fun, one of our new campaigns is the 101, Things to Do in Silver City. You might want to stay an extra day. We kicked it off. Those are for everyone that have
We kicked it off with the back cover of Picomania. We have since placed it throughout downtown. We're getting buy-in from local merchants, from the lodgers, taking wings statewide, and very well It's been an extremely fun campaign. We are now on our second printing because so many people have asked for these. This particular piece that I've handed out to you is designed to go in business windows downtown. We have yet to actually distribute them because they've been flying off our shelves so rapidly. People have been coming in and asking to have them handed out. So another area, we've developed a postcard version of it that will print in volume so that businesses can also hand these out downtown. Now, of course, our primary objective for tourism is to bring them here, but this is the second component, is to get them to stay an extra day. So it's we have utilized this. You'll see in this, we've placed in Zocalo the 101, kind of hard to see there, but we put the 101 at in Zocalo so that there's familiarity when somebody also hits the streets of Silver City and they see we have 2 4-footers that are in the El Sol windows. This is also a nice piece because it's a collaborative purchase of a full page. We partner with 2 lodgers, and we have others who are interested now in partnering and building around the tourism advertising in other publications to promote Silver City. So I'm going to be meeting with several lodgers this week to further discuss where and how we can collaboratively place and perhaps leverage our dollars in buying more real estate. The other campaign that we kicked off that has had tremendous legs and has been a lot of fun also is a campaign that's designed around sort of the arts and historic culture of Silver City. It reads over 40 murals and Billy the Kid. It's a Silver City, New Mexico true ad, and it has a unique URL, ilovesilvercity.com. And it features Jean-Robert Beaufort of A Space Gallery, downtown, in historic downtown Silver City, doing a mural of Billy the Kid. That's not right. Yeah. Doing a mural of Billy the Kid, very fanciful, with 2 sets of wings, bright colors. It was also run in Desert Leaf. It's been in New Mexico Magazine. It was in Peaks and Plains. Here's another version of it. I will pass it around for you to see. And then the beauty of this campaign is, by no design, I have to admit, of ours. New York Times article, beautiful press for Silver City. One artist is mentioned in this article, and it reads, "Later, as the sun sank, we turned up a side street toward A Space Gallery, where the proprietor, Jean-Robert Beaufort, perched on an upturned bucket, putting the finishing touches on a vibrant mural of Billy the Kid, dudded up with wings, pink boots, colored pencils in his belt, where bullets should be." Couldn't buy this kind of press for our advertising. So it's just a wonderful, perhaps, coincidence that our advertising that we've spread around regionally happens to be the same thing that was mentioned in the New York Times article. So we're very excited about that. From the 2 publications that actually provide us with lead, Sunset Magazine Texas Monthly and Where to Retire, along with Travel 50. We put out 624 direct mail pieces in the first quarter. Thank you to Green Chamber for fulfilling. Under the initiatives and partnerships that I have on here, I'm really pleased to report that the Silver City Arts and Cultural District, one of our initiatives was to bring creative services in-house, rather than farm it out. Because of my background in advertising and graphic production in particular, all the ads that you see are designed, the 101 is concepted in-house. So we're not farming out our graphic design. As of last year, in our budget, we had somewhere between, I don't know the exact figure, 12 to 15,000 in outside services specifically related to graphic services. Currently, all of that is being brought in-house, and what that means is I promised you stewardship of the lodger's tax dollars. That means that money can go directly to further our advertising reach, because we're producing all of what you see in-house. Thank you, Michelle, for working with me very closely on the creative designs. I also want to acknowledge the tourism group that advises me on a regular basis. We meet every other month. We are currently looking for community members to expand that. It's always open to anybody who would like to join us at that meeting. They have been instrumental in advising, in advertising placement, in creative ideas. And we have our next one coming up on the 12th of November. You're all invited to join us at the ACD office. First ad was produced by the collaborative effort of the 6 arts and cultural districts around the state. We got together, as you know, to apply collectively for a cooperative grant from New Mexico Tourism. We received $30,000, of which each of our communities kicks in an additional $5,000 in matching funds for a budget of $60,000 for advertising arts and cultural districts of New Mexico. We have a wonderful collaboration going on. I've met with them several times in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Las Cruces. We've just placed our first ad in New Mexico Magazine. We have 3 additional. We'll be placing festival advertising in the airport billboards in Albuquerque. We're building a collective website. Basically, the first ad said, "Take in a festival while you're in New Mexico." It's driving them to a unique website that then will distribute out to all of our own individual sites to help promote arts and culture specific in New Mexico. Also for Arts and Cultural District, I was asked to present to them at a statewide presentation, speaking of collaboration. And it was followed by a wonderful workshop that really was about how do small rural communities of Silver City, Los Alamos, Las Vegas, Raton, and Albuquerque, how can we not only promote ourselves collectively in advertising, but how do we actually collaborate community to community? And you see it in how, for instance, Clay Festival has reached out to communities around the state, and the other festivals have done it as well. But we're looking at other collaboration means to align cities to promote visitation from one town to another. I spoke a little bit about the 40-plus murals and Billy the Kid, 101 Things to Do in Silver City, and the collaborative media placement of Zocalo that will expand to other businesses. We also hosted in the first quarter the state tourism PR department. They had a 2-day visit to Silver City, and we're working very closely with the state. As you'll see at the very bottom, we have an upcoming town hall that we were asked on behalf of the town of Silver City to help facilitate. It's going to be at the Silco theater. They're going to light up the marquee. We're going to have actors out on the street, and the New Mexico Film Office will be presenting on film in New Mexico and how we can perhaps as a community expand our opportunities there. As you know, we have 2 movies, one that was completed at Fort Baird and another that's underway right now. So we'll be highlighting that in this town hall conversation with New Mexico Film Office on the 13th of October at the November at the SoCo. So that's another statewide collaboration that we're doing on behalf of tourism. As you know, in terms of the media attention, you've all heard it, you've all seen it. The New York Times, Money Magazine, wonderful piece. I hope you're getting bumps from that. But there's a couple others that might not have had the same kind of play. Pasatiempo from up in northern New Mexico and New Mexico Magazine both highlighted MRAC for their Governor's Award. So that's a nice Silver City piece. And Gastronomica did a piece in their fall issue on the Curious Kumquat. So our culinary arts are being acknowledged all over the place. And again, I ask everybody, if you see other things online or in print that we could add to this when I distribute this to others, I would appreciate it. Our website, we're underway with a new look and a tremendously improved calendar. And thanks go out to Jesse Thetford, who is working with us 3 days a week at ACD on the initiation of the calendar. If you go to silvercitytourism.org, far right, primary navigation, you'll see what's happening. Click on there. I'm using it now to find out what's happening. I wasn't before. So she's doing a great job. And one of the telling things about the calendar, we started promoting it. It was nowhere on our metrics in my tenure so far of the pages that were being visited. Since we've reformatted it and started promoting it, it is currently starting in October, it's at number 2 as for hits on our website. So it's reaching out there. We are going page by page and reviewing content, updating imagery. We're doing a redesign basically on the fly, day by day. And since we're not in high season right now, it's a good time that we're working it. And you'll see great results from that going forward. I look forward to reporting on that as it unfolds. We had 10,656 unique visitors in the first quarter. 74.5% were new visitors, 3.29 pages on average, 44,887 pages were viewed. Average time, 3 minutes, 6 seconds. Top cities, Albuquerque, Tucson, El Paso, Phoenix, Santa Fe, Las Cruces, Los Angeles, New York, Dallas, and Denver. One of the things that is telling already from our reworking of the website, October results, a sneak preview for you, is that from 3.29 pages average view, we're this month seeing a bump already at 3.69 pages. And even more telling thing is that 3.06 minutes is what we averaged in the first quarter. This month, we've already increased that to 4 minutes and 17-second duration. These are 2 things that I will continually be looking at, is number of pages and how long they're engaged on the website. And that tells me we're doing something right if we're engaging to that level that they're spending time. Sissy already touched on it, but I thank all the attractions around Silver City and the area. They are working with us to give us actual numbers. The visitor center, you can see, is up 9.4% for the quarter. The Silver City Museum, 16.5%. WNMU Museum, 10.5%. City of Rocks, they only had September numbers, but in September they saw an increase of 10%. And of course, we know the state of Gila Cliff Dwellings and the Catwalk at this point. I was asked on the 101 in our newest version to remove number 31, which is Cruise the Catwalk National Monument. And I was also asked to remove number 73, which says meander off to Mogollon. As Sissy already alluded to, I think it's really important that, on our website, we will continue to have the catwalk present, and we will continue to promote Mogollon. But in the meantime, we will let people know that, we live, part of why you come here is for the outdoors and Mother Nature, and that this is a very compelling story to explain to people and to invite them to go out to the Black Range, and when things are open again, to go to these areas to see what Mother Nature, what fire does, what flooding does, and that's the eco story that we will be telling around these areas. But in the meantime, in the new version, we are removing, very specifically removing the catwalk, and in number 73, you will now meander off to Mimbres. If you have any questions or comments, I invite those.
Councillor Cook?
How often does Zocalo come out?
Monthly. Wonderful publication, really geared towards downtown Tucson, but it distributes throughout the city. They do tremendous print job, very quality publication, very arts and civic oriented, because it is a downtown publication, and it's one that we look to expand our advertising in collaboratively with the lodgers going forward.
I just have a couple of statistical questions.
Sure.
One is, when you look at the web, the 10,656 unique visitors is an interesting number, but then you go underneath it, and 74.5% were new visitors. That means 25.5 didn't find a reason to return.
No, it means 25 and a half had already...
Question.
It means that they've...
Can I finish my
Oh, I'm
question?
sorry.
I'm not done. So, where I'm going with that is, when you go back to the 3.29 pages average, when you go to the 3-minute visit time, is there a national benchmark that we are aiming for? Or are we, what's our goal?
That's a very good question. Pardon my interruption. I have spoken to, first of all, in our own community, I've started to share our metrics with anyone who locally is willing to share their metrics. And with the town of Silver City, I've spoken with the webmaster and MRAC, for instance, where I've actually had our Google metrics open, and I speak to what I'm looking at, they speak to what they're looking at, and then we compare what those numbers are monthly, quarterly, and I'd love to see more collaboration like that, because the first metric for me is to understand where I stand within our own community. I think it's important to see how I had nothing to compare to, per se. And to pick another community, another small community of relative size might be one starting point for us to compare to, but I don't know that it would be that telling. I will look with the other ACDs, because some of them might be similar in profile to Silver City. So I'm starting to, I appreciate the question, and I don't have the definitive benchmark. It's sort of groping and feeling our way right now to say, what does it look like for others around here first? And is it similar? And how is ACD doing compared to town or MRAC or Tour de Gila? And to see where and how they're spiking, to see where and how we're hitting the same towns or not, other cities, and maybe even looking at how we steer marketing according to that. If we all see that, Dallas is showing up on our metrics, but we're not advertising in Dallas, we're seeing that Dallas is taking an interest without us necessarily advertising there. So it's in its infancy, I think, that conversation, but I appreciate definitely the query, because I don't know what that benchmark is. I do know that, obviously, the time and pages visited is a measure of engagement. In terms of the 25% that are not new visitors, it doesn't necessarily, it may be, what I would love to see is a website that's engaging enough that a visitor who has, say, from Tucson, been to the website, it may not be considered a new visitor. They may be considered a repeat visitor. I'd love to see that we could measure repeat visits like that and know that we're engaging them to come back to look at the calendar again, to see if we're updating information, and we haven't been. So to create more dynamic content, some of those those who are not new visitors are just as likely to be our targets, and might be either local or not local, and might be they're just as important as new visitors for repeat engagement, I believe.
Thank you. And I think, obviously, we will build that data as we go forward, and making that a criteria under the lodger's tax, that data be provided gives all the applicants a better view of where they're standing, and we can definitely set some local benchmarks, but, you look around the country, and there's been studies that concluded that getting bit by a dog hurts. I can't believe that. There's got to be, somebody's established some benchmarks for these websites that, maybe in my free time I'll dig around and see what I can find, but, because it would really be nice to know where we need to be. And it's always nice, at least in my chair, to know when we've got there.
Yeah.
And so we'll keep talking about it. But
And since Scott's here, it's one place that I think we're doing a great service in driving traffic your way too, because, they have an extremely strong URL. And, but if you look at, and I think we're doing a great job with ours, because if you look at our search engine optimization over the last quarter, if you search for many special interests, we're coming up in the top 5 definitively. So, when people are looking, if they just plug in Silver City, we're coming up, but we're coming up with bicycling, and we're coming up with clay, and we're coming up with all these other areas of content. So our search engine optimization is good, and so, but I think we have an uphill, we're pushing a rock uphill right now to really get our URL established on a wider basis. SilverCityTourism.org is not a sort of right out of the mouth kind of something you would plug in.
when I think that's one of the drivers to the discussion that I mentioned earlier with when Sissy was standing up there, and one of the goals that I have in this getting everybody together to talk is around the country, arts and cultural districts may not be a common term that the average Joe can think of, but the Chamber of Commerce is. And that's one of the reasons we need to be working together in a good cohesive system to ensure that we're capitalizing on what the world, the terminology that the world is comfortable and confident in searching for.
Yeah.
And then we build upon that, because we're not going to change it. So thank you. Really appreciate your report and your continued work.
Thank you.
Next is staff reports, Chief. You're in the big chair, you don't want to take advantage of it?
Tell us what Alex said.
Yeah. What would Alex say?
I'll leave that one alone.
Okay. We'll move right along, and the next item on the agenda with action is under new business, appointment to the Historic Design Review Committee, and we have one applicant who is currently the chair of the committee and a long-standing and valued member, and it would be my desire to reappoint Becky Smith to the Historic Design Review Committee. Is there any objection? Hearing no objection, Becky Smith is duly appointed, and we will send her the proper notice. And at that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor,
Counselor,
I move to adjourn.
there's a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.